Good morning, everybody, especially our dear Bosconians and our dear Salesian educators. Of course, our dear members of the Salesian family, especially the cooperators and the past pupils. I'd like to give a reflection on today's gospel, and I'd like to read it. From the Gospel according to Luke. On a Sabbath, Jesus went to dine at the home of one of the leading Pharisees, and the people there were observing him carefully. In front of him, there was a man suffering from dropsy. Jesus spoke to the scholars of the law and Pharisees in reply, asking, "Is it not lawful to cure on the Sabbath or not? Or is it lawful to cure on the Sabbath or not?" But they kept silent. So he took the man, and after he had healed him, dismissed him. Then he said to them, "Who among you, if your son or ox falls into a cistern, would not immediately pull him out on the Sabbath day?" But they were unable to answer his question. The Gospel of the Lord. Dear friends, our reading for today, our Gospel reading, talks about the Sabbath. And it is very opportune for us to speak about it because the Sabbath is the seventh day. And for the Jews, this day is what we call the Saturday. And it's the seventh day for them. It's actually the climax of their week. But it is not what we call Saturday as is the whole day, the 24-hour day. Because the reckoning of the Sabbath is the afternoon of Friday. So that even today, if you go to Israel, especially in Jerusalem, everything would be quiet in the afternoon of Friday. And so there I placed on the screen a picture of bread. Now, that's not just ordinary bread, okay? It might make us hungry right now, but that is called the Sabbath bread or the challah, okay? The challah. And there below, you see their Hebrew word. That Hebrew word is Shabbat. Shabbat is the seventh day. They counted, no? The first day is Monday, no? The first day, the second day, so Yom Rishon, etc. Until the last day, which they name differently, Sabbath or Shabbat. And we hear a lot about the Sabbath in the Gospel. So what is special about that? That they should not do any work, that they should rest. Of course, they may take their meal, and the Sabbath bread is actually the bread that they usually eat on the Sabbath. Take note, it's not the Passover bread, okay? It's the Sabbath bread, because the Passover bread is unleavened. And sometimes if the Passover celebration, the Passover meal coincides with the Sabbath, then of course they do not eat this kind of bread, the leavened bread. They eat the unleavened bread, or what they call the matzah. And it's really very interesting. Okay? When I was in Jerusalem, I was studying there. I had one semester there in the Hebrew University. Our teacher in modern Hebrew, on that Friday, before we went for our weekend, she gave us, okay, she served in class this Sabbath bread, and we were able to taste it. And of course, it's made from ingredients that are, let's say, very, very much in the kosher. What we call the kosher, that is very particular of their preparation for the bread and for their meals. But anyway, it's very important. Why? Here in the Gospel, we see that Jesus went to dine at the home of one of the leading Pharisees on a Sabbath. And that is the Sabbath meal, the Sabbath dinner. Perhaps, okay, went to dine. That's about Friday evening. And he was there, and the people were observing him carefully. You know, one of the beautiful things about the ministry of Jesus in the Gospel of Luke, by the way, we read from Luke chapter 14, 1-6, is a stable ministry. And that table ministry is not only among the poor and among the sinners and outcasts, but he was also dining with the Pharisees. And here, he was there. But perhaps at this point, Jesus had already become quite known. And he was, of course, a threat to these leaders in Israel, particularly with the Pharisees, such that they were there guarding his move, whether he would observe the Sabbath. But he was very wise. He was intelligent, Jesus. He asked them because there was in front of him a man who was suffering from dropsy, and expectedly he would be healing him. He would be curing him. By the way, dropsy is a sickness that is chronic, okay, where the body fluids come to rest at the legs and the feet of a person. Okay, I think a lot of those who are suffering from diabetes, okay, maybe in those times that's how it was manifest. It was a chronic illness. And he was there in front of him, the man suffering dropsy. Whether he was put there intentionally or not, Jesus had something in mind to cure him. And he asked, before curing, he was so wise, he asked, is it lawful to cure on the Sabbath or not? Okay? Maybe it would be a rhetorical question, but he directed it to them, to the Pharisees. Is it lawful? And they kept silent. Maybe they did not know. Or maybe their opinion might clash with the opinion of the others there also, of their own group. And so, they could not answer. And because they could not answer, what did Jesus do? He healed the man, and then he dismissed him. And then he continued, who among you, if your son or ox falls into a cistern, would not immediately pull him out on the Sabbath day? But even then, they were unable to answer. And so, they were watching him to commit a mistake, but he was the one who overpowered them. First, with his wisdom, questioning them where they could not answer, and then healing the man who was suffering from dropsy. This is a very beautiful episode, and I think it brings us into our weekend. What do we do during the weekend? Do we make it holy? Do we keep it holy? Do we pray? Do we celebrate together as a family? Do we attend the Holy Eucharist, if possible? And finally, do we do good? Do we do works of charity? So maybe, of course, we do not do servile tasks because we should honor this day as a day of rest. But then it should not stop us to do what is good as how Jesus had done. Dear friends, we're almost at the end. We're at the end of the month of October. Tomorrow will be the last day. And we're into these last 2 days of our Holy Rosary online, okay, via Facebook Live. And that is the Family Holy Rosary. And I'd like you to join for this evening and then tomorrow evening. Tomorrow evening, the sponsors are the members of the Salesian community. And please do get the habit, even if we're done with it as an EPC. But I hope in your families you continue to pray the Rosary. And then at the same time, I'd like to remind you of the November Masses. Please look into the website or the web page, Facebook page of Don Bosco Canlubang, and then search for that part of the November Masses. And when you fill out the forms, the Google Forms, okay, they'll be automatically stored into the cloud. But if you would like to give donations, there are these provisions there. I've received already quite a good number, and thank you very much. That is for our liturgical celebrations and for our upkeep of our church here, of our chapel, as well as for certain pastoral activities. Okay? So I wish you all the best. Have a great day. And as they say in Hebrew, when they are about to enter the Sabbath day, of course, we Christians celebrate the Sunday, but the greeting for when at the midday or towards the afternoon of Friday is have a good Sabbath or have a peaceful Sabbath. And they say it's Shabbat Shalom. So to everybody, I greet you all, Shabbat Shalom. God bless you.